Colorado High School Activities Association Baseball is on Morgan County's B106, B106.com, and the Eastern Plains Sports Network. This afternoon, really this morning right now, from Legion Field in Fort Morgan. It's a doubleheader as the Fort Morgan Mustangs will play Game 1 here against the Greeley West Spartans with the Northridge Grizzlies to follow in Game 2. I'm John Beltran along with Brian Nickel. And Brian, essentially, it's not the postseason yet, but for the Mustangs, the playoffs have really started, and pretty much today.
Yeah, they got to win out probably to get in, and it starts here at noon o'clock here for Fort Morgan, and you can't afford any letdown. You got to have a good game. You got to keep the errors down. You can't have a severance game. That's for darn sure. Now, like they did against Holy Family the other day, they come out and play like they did against Holy Family. They're probably going to win the next 2 games here at home.
Well, and quite frankly, they lost to Holy Family 9-6, but the Mustangs went with their number 5 starter in Colin Farley. I mean, he did a credible job, but, that's an overwhelming lineup to face and gave up quite a few doubles in only his second varsity start of his career. Jackson Langford has had little time on the mound, and he scuffled through an inning plus, and then Chase Redding did a nice job over the final 2 innings to keep the Mustangs in the game, but even he gave up 2 runs, as expected, to a team that is, I believe, now 4th. Holy Family's ascended to 4th in the RPI, and keep in mind they take 24 teams. 24 teams will go to the regionals on Monday, June 14th, and if you're a top 8, you host, and then you have a bye, and then 9 through 24 will play each other, and you'd have to win 2 games. So the Mustangs right now are 23rd in the RPI, which is why these games are critical. They could go 10-6 and more than likely miss the playoffs.
Yep.
So Greeley West is at 5-8. But I'm not looking at records, Brian. Thompson Valley is 3-9, who the Mustangs had to steal a game from, and Thompson Valley lost to Severance twice by 2 runs. They beat Mountain View. All of these results are fairly interchangeable. No team is beating a team consistently. You go across the board. Northridge is beating teams that Fort Morgan has lost to. Fort Morgan has beaten teams that Northridge has lost to. Greeley West has some common opponents. So it's really anybody's game here when the Mustangs play today, right now, and at 4 o'clock against Northridge.
Yeah, that's a real competitive league. That's for darn sure. And like you said, anybody can beat anybody on any given day. So they've got to come out and play their A game here in the next 4 games, 2 today and Tuesday at Meade, and then finish it up here next Thursday with Erie. So,
yep.
And Erie is, I know they look like they're going to be in the playoffs.
Yes, they're a little bit higher.
Yep, they're, I don't know, maybe 17.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think you're 16 or 17. Batting first for Greeley West is the catcher, Edgar Urquidi. Make it the center fielder, Auden Garcia. The catcher hits third. Tyson Tellez, the third baseman, at second. Batting fourth is the pitcher, Rodney Villegas. The shortstop, Reuben Arago, hits fifth. Mateo Vasquez, the second baseman, at sixth. The DH hit at seventh. That's Elijah Torres. First baseman, Nolan Hydock, hits eighth. And left fielder, Gio Munoz, hits ninth. For the Mustangs defensively, the first baseman. Let's see, I think I've got things a little bit scrambled here. Should be Malachi Bills at first, because we do have some changes. Braden Fajardo now. At first base is Malachi. Center fielder is Briggs Wheatley. Over in right for the Mustangs is Cale Langford. Behind the plate is Jackson Langford. On the mound, Jesse Kampa facing the right-handed hitter Edgar Urquidi. And the pitch swung on that is popped up towards the pitcher, backing up, backpedaling, and Kampa's going to make the catch on one pitch up in the zone, and there's one down. Jesse's ERA is just over 2, or 3, I should say. But he is undefeated in his starts this year. Has been very good. Yep. He went the distance against Thompson Valley in a game that Fort Morgan had to rally in that we were just talking about. Here is Tyson Tellez, or Diaz, hitting from the right side. The pitch, and the fastball is a strike on the outer half at 0-1. And he's pitched in big games before at the lower levels, so he knows this pressure. And Kampa with the 0-1, and the breaking ball is up and in. 1 ball and 1 strike. Greeley West, as a team, is hitting .239, and Tell is hitting .172 out of the 2-hole. And the 1-1. And the breaking ball is a beauty for a strike. What a gorgeous breaking ball on the outside. Brian Nickel will take you through innings 3 through 5. I've got you for the first 2 and 6 and 7. 1 ball and 2 strikes, 1 out just underway. Here from Legion Field, and the pitch outside. Ball 2, strike 2. Let's run the numbers here on Kampa. 3-0 with a 3.05 ERA. Only time he didn't pitch well was in relief against Northridge. And the 2-2. Swung on and hit slowly to short. Beltran charges. Field throws on the run. 2 down. 2 down here for Auden Garcia. That's exactly what Brian Nichols talking about. Just play solid defense, and then you'll be okay. Because the bats, quite frankly, Brian, I think they've come around the last couple of games.
Yeah. Yeah, well, they had 6 runs against Holy Family, and they're a real good pitching team. But nice defense there by Nick. Comes in and charges that ball and gets out at first.
And 12 hits against Severance. The problem is they left too many on base. They scored 4 runs. The pitch swung on and driven down the right field line. That's going to be trouble. That's going to be a fair ball just inside the line. Langford chases it down. A nice spin throw into the infield. That's a great throw by Langford. Auden Garcia. Now we've got a courtesy runner for the catcher. I think with a 258 average. Throw back to first, and very close. Still trying to decipher. That's 15 or this season. And the offering. Swing and a miss and a pitch up in the zone. That's 2 pitches that were above the letters. He went fishing. Did lose you there for a second. Not sure what caused the interruption in the signal. 0-2 pitch. And that's low. Runner goes to second to throw the tag, and that's going to be a late tag. It's a stolen base. And it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. On the steal from Tyler Gaunt. So in scoring position here for Villegas. 2 out and 1 on here in the top of the first inning. Let's see if he can pick up a strikeout in this thing. Get out of the frame. Time is called. A pop-up and a grounder to begin the frame. All of a sudden, apparently, our signal has some issues. And that's in the dirt. It skips to the screen. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Luckily, if we have to, we can make adjustments on the fly here. 2-2. Here to the number 4 hitter, Villegas, with a runner at third off the wild pitch. Jesse comes home. Swing and a miss and a slow breaking ball, and that does it for Greeley West. Here in the top of the first inning, no runs. There was a base hit, no errors, and a man left at third. Greeley West does not score. And the Fort Morgan Mustangs are coming to bat on B106 and the Eastern Plains Sports Network. John Beltran back with Brian Nichols. We head to the bottom of the first inning. The opening pitch today was brought to you by High Plains Bank, your friendly local community bank, serving Wiggins and surrounding areas. Find out more at highplainsbank.com. For the Mustangs, batting first will be the center fielder Briggs Wheatley. Catcher Jackson Langford at second. Batting third is the shortstop Nick Beltran. The pitcher Jesse Kampa is the cleanup hitter. Right fielder Cale Langford at fifth. The first baseman Malachi Bills at sixth. Frank Ortega is the third baseman batting seventh. The DH hits eighth, and that is Colin Farley. And left fielder Levi McCoy bats ninth. Defensively, Nolan Hydock at first. Mateo Vasquez at second. The third baseman is Tyson Tellez. Reuben Arago at short. The left fielder is Gio Munoz. In center is Edgar Urquidi. Over and right is Hunter Redfern. Behind the plate for Greeley West is Auden Garcia. And on the mound, Rodney Villegas, who just struck out to end the frame. Here's Wheatley. The pitch. That's a fastball for a strike on the inner half. No balls and 1 strike. Villegas 3-2 with a 4.2 ERA. And that pitch is swung on and fouled back. Count is at 0-2. Wheatley hitting .349 on the year. See if the Mustangs get off to a big start here. The offering. Swung on line. Base hit into left field. He just stuck his bat out on a pitch away. And Wheatley does his thing. And he is on for Fort Morgan. Good start here in the bottom of the first inning for Jackson Langford. And Jackson's got on base a lot of times this year. .350 average. And the on-base percentage is at .449. Drawn quite a few walks, hitting for the right side. Two-step lead at first, the pitch. And that is outside for a ball, just off the plate. 1 ball and no strikes. Here to Jackson Langford. Wheatley with nice speed over there at first. The offering. Swing and a miss. Runner goes to second. To throw is going to catch him between first and second in a pickle. Wheatley back to first. He's going to take off now for second. He'll be tagged out. That was not good. I don't know if that was a hit and run, but that's going to go 2-6-3. And Wheatley is caught stealing. Well, not exactly what you want there. That was a solid throw by the catcher, Garcia. That really negates a base hit there for Briggs Wheatley. Man, that hurts in the early going. And again, when you're the home team and you've got the better record, we said this against Thompson Valley, the later it gets, that visiting team starts feeling a little bit of momentum, and then you have to find yourself in rally mode. 1 ball, 1 strike. The offering. And the breaking ball is up and in. 2-1. Here to Jackson Langford. Greeley West stranded a runner at third in the first. And the pitch. Swung on and chopped foul right at the plate off the foot of Langford. It's 2-2. Yeah, that had to be a hit and run the way Briggs was reacting to it. And it was a swing, but Jackson missed it completely. And sometimes you have to treat a hit and run almost like a straight steal. Forget about just hitting and running, because if he doesn't make contact,
then
you get caught in between fielders. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Langford. And the pitch swung on and fouled off to the right. On a pitch away. No score, bottom of the first inning, first of 2. The Mustangs host Northridge at 4 o'clock Mountain Time. This is Greeley West at 5-8, but they've got a good team. The pitch swung on and fouled off to the right. And Fort Morgan has 2 victories this year by 6 runs against Riverdale Ridge and Niwot. They beat Roosevelt by 7, but all their losses have been very close.
Yep.
And the breaking ball is up and in. I think I calculated 5 losses by 9 runs. 2 1-run losses, 2 2-run losses, and a 3-run setback. And that is just outside. Oh, barely missed. And it's a walk to Jackson Langford, but that was close. That was certainly close. Could have been rung up there, but I think that was the right call based on the zone that has been established. Here's Nick Beltran hitting .342. He's going to have to come through today along with the hitters behind him. Villegas, the right-hander, looks in for the pitch, and the breaking ball is a strike. No balls and 1 strike. That was up in the zone. Will they try another hit and run? The third baseman is playing in, throw back to first, back in standing is Langford. No balls and 1 strike. Lots of tail on that breaking ball. The offering swung on and popped up. That should be a routine play into left field on a pitch that was in on the hands. And the catch is made for the second out as Gio Munoz puts it away. 2 down here for Jesse Kampa. Jesse is hitting .237. That average continues to climb even though it's still low. Throw back to first, back in diving is Langford. See if Jesse can help his own cause. The stretch, the offering, swung on and grounded foul down the third base side on a breaking ball. No balls and 1 strike. Well, Fort Morgan's lost just 1 time this year. That was 4 weeks ago today, 8-6 to Mountain View in 8 innings. 1 time at home. The other 4 losses are on the road. And 3 of the last 4 games are here at Legion Field. The pitch, that's a ball, just missed. He took that step back. I thought I was going to call strike 1.
Yeah, he's a little slow on strike call, so you got to give him a minute. But right center is open for Jesse.
Big time. 1 ball, 1 strike. Throw back to first, and Jackson's got to be careful over there. Well, you don't want to take the bat out of your cleanup hitter's hands. If he makes the last out, fine, with a runner at base. You don't want him leading off. 2-step lead. The offering. Swung on, hit off the end of the bat on the ground on the right side. This is going to be a tough play. Kampa getting down the line to flip the first is in time. Nice play by Villegas, tracking it down. That goes 1-3. And there was no way the second baseman was going to make the play. The Mustangs pick up a hit. And like Greeley West, they strand a base runner. Mustang Baseball is brought to you in part by Buildings by Design as we head to the second inning in Game 1 here against Greeley West from Legion Field. No score between the Mustangs and the Spartans on B106 and the Eastern Plains Sports Network. Zeros for both teams, at least in the run column as we head to the second inning. No score in Fort Morgan between the Mustangs and Greeley West Spartans. 5, 6, and 7 for Greeley West. Reuben Arago is the first hitter. Right-handed hitter batting 189. In fact, their best hitter, Brian, is Urquidi, who led off batting 342, and he had a pop-up to the pitcher. So that's a good sign you get him out. And Jesse comes home, and that's up and in. 1 ball and no strikes. I mean, the reason this team is 5-8 is because of their lack of offense.
Yeah.
They pitched well, played pretty good defense. And the pitch, that is a strike on the outer half at the knees. Took something off it. It's 1-1. Jesse threw just 12 pitches in the opening frame. He has 2 complete games to his credit. Swung on and driven to right field. K.O. Langford is right there, still going back. Makes the running catch for the out. And there's 1 down on that liner to right. Here is Mateo Vasquez. A 273 hitter out of the 6-hole.
Talking lack of runs, I believe they were shut out by Northridge. Drew out 1-0 on Thursday.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be tough to face Northridge, too.
Yep.
These games are all up for grabs. The pitch, fastball is upstairs. 1 ball and no strikes. Fill up your cooler, gas up your car, Stubbs Gas and Oil. Easy and convenient, which makes them the only stop you need. Stubbs Gas and Oil. The kick of the 1-0. Breaking ball swung on, grounded to third. Frank Ortega's got it. Sets, throws low, but it's dug out there by Bills, and there's 2 down.
Nice scoop over there at third base by Ortega.
Well, and what's been the problem position? Third.
Yep.
When Jesse's played over there, he has really struggled. But he's on the mound, and we'll see. The defensive alignment probably will have Jesse at third, but I know he's been practicing. He's a very talented player. The offering. That's a strike with a fastball on the outer half at the knees. It's 0-1 to Elijah Torres. Right-handed batter. Hitting 200. Fouled off the end of the bat, and the count levels are checked at. It's 0-2. Gorgeous day. High sky. A high sky means that there are almost little to no clouds. So that ball's hitting the sun. It's not easy to find. 0-2 pitch. Swung on and grounded to short. Nick Beltran has got it. He sets. He throws. And that is in time. And it's a 1-2-3 inning for Jesse Kampa. 1 1/2 innings are in the books. Mustang Baseball is brought to you in part by Bank of Colorado. No score between Fort Morgan and Greeley West on B106 and the Eastern Plains Sports Network. K.O. Langford steps in as we begin the bottom of the second inning at Legion Field. No score between Fort Morgan and Greeley West. K.O. had a big 2-run single with 2 outs in the first inning against Holy Family. He swings and fouls it back on a breaking ball that tied him up. No balls and 1 strike. Langford hitting .333. Both starters have allowed a hit. That's a fastball for a strike on the outside corner. Knee high, it's 0-2. Langford, Bills, and Ortega in the bottom of the second inning. Laying down the sign is Garcia, and the offering swung on and driven foul on the ground on the first base side. Count remains at 0-2. Play defense like that, like Coach Campbell did, we'll be in good shape. That ball is headed for the outfield. The 0-2 pitch. Swung on and grounded left side. Going to be a tough play for the shortstop. Arago sets, throws off the back foot late. It's an infield hit for Cale Langford. That's what speed will do for you. And for the second straight inning, the Mustangs have the leadoff man on, but they have to be smarter in this inning, Brian, because Briggs Wheatley was caught stealing on what looked like a hit and run.
Yeah, they gotta be smart on the base pads, that's for sure. They get on, they can't waste them.
Here is Malachi Bills. Bills hitting .368. Throw back to first. Back in diving is Langford. Awaiting the pitch here for the right-hander, Rodney Villegas. Here it is. Swung on and lifted down the left field line for a base hit off his fist. Langford around second, and he's going to stay right there. He could have taken third maybe, but that would have been a close play. So I think he made the right play just holding up. But, Brian, baseballs like that, those were not two well-hit balls, but they were placed perfectly.
Yep.
And you have 2 on and nobody out here for Frank Ortega, who has been scuffling at the plate all year, batting .189, but has Fort Morgan's only home run of 2021, a solo shot against Severance last Saturday in Severance. The pitch, squaring to bunt, and he pops it foul. It's not a good bunt. Got well below that ball. 0-1. I wonder if they'll continue with that strategy there, because you got the 8 and 9 hitters coming up. You want to get at least a run across with first and second and nobody out here in the second inning. Villegas stretches, and the pitch squaring to bunt, and he lays it down beautifully. Third base side, barehanded. Throw to third is going to be late. It will be late. That'll be scored a fielder's choice, no base hit. Well, I thought they had him, Brian.
Yeah.
I thought he was out. I thought it was very close, but they're going to call it, and that's not a base hit, a fielder's choice.
Coach is going to go out and have a chat with the umpire.
Well, we will call that a sacrifice bunt, though.
They're going to discuss it now with some of the home plate umpire.
Oh, they might call him out if they're going to meet there. He can be overruled. I mean, I saw him as barely out, and let's see what the call is going to be here. Yeah, they'll
Still
call
safe.
it safe, but it was close.
Yeah.
I mean, it was very close. I'm not saying he was, out by a mile. Nonetheless, here's Colin Farley. So scored a sacrifice bunt, fielder's choice. So really no at bat there, because he was trying to move the runners over. And a huge opportunity for Colin. The pitch, and that is a ball, fastball down and away. 1 ball and no strikes. That's a big call in this game, though. A big call.
Yeah.
Farley batting .273. The offering swung on and fouled off to the right. Do anything but hit a grounder back to the mound. You don't want to do that. You do even a double play is better than something back to the mound as long as a run scores. The pitch swung on and grounded right back to the mound, to the plate for 1 and to first, and that is a double play. And that's exactly what you have to avoid.
Yep.
A 1-2-3 double play, and there's 2 down. That's exactly what you have to avoid. You got to pull that ball. That is not good. So here we go with McCoy, and he takes a breaking ball for a strike. Runners at second and third. No balls and 1 strike. And that pitch is down and away at 1-1. Well, if they don't win this game, you look back at this inning unless they score right now. And McCoy's only hitting .250. The pitch, swing and a miss late on that one. It's 0-2. Well, they're 1 strike away from getting out of this mess. Bases loaded, nobody out, and that fastball is high. And now it's second and third and 2 down. Any other scenario would have been perfect, especially with Wheatley coming up. Fastball is up and in. Oh, did I have the count wrong? I must have had, I thought it was 2-2. It was apparently 3-1. So he has walked, and now Wheatley's up there with the bases loaded. Well, I'm glad I was wrong on that one. So it's a walk, and here's Wheatley. He had a base hit his first time up. If this is ever a time to come through, here's the wind and pitch, and that's down and in, 1 ball and no strikes to the center fielder. Wheatley does have home run power, doesn't have a home run this year. The offering, and that is a strike at the knees. On the inside corner, 1-1. Out of the windup with the bases loaded, 2 down. The offering swung on and fouled to the backstop on a pitch that jammed Wheatley. Ball 1, strike 2. Big pitch coming up. And here it is. Swung on, line down the right field line, and that's going to stay fair for a base hit. That's going to score a run. And coming around third is Ortega. The throw is going to be cut off. And it's 2-0. It actually made it to the plate, but Briggs Wheatley with a 2-run single ends up at second. And McCoy at third, 2-0 Fort Morgan.
Nice job by Wheatley. First time up, he goes to left field. This time he pulls it down the right field line and gets 2 in.
And that pitch jammed him completely. But you know what? He hit it in the right spot. Here's Jackson Langford. Oh, he swings at a pitch that was almost going to hit him. He stepped out, a fly ball to the third baseman, Tejas, and he makes the catch. I'm not sure why he swung at that pitch. Might not have hit him, but it was really inside and had no choice once he swung to put that ball in play like that, and it didn't work out. And Josh Langford not happy with that plate appearance there from Jackson Langford. Nonetheless, the Mustangs scored 2 runs on 3 hits. No errors and 2 men left. Mustang Baseball is brought to you in part by Buildings by Design. We head to the third. Brian Nickel will take you through the next 3 innings. Fort Morgan is in the lead on the 2-run single from Briggs Wheatley over Greeley West, 2-0 on B106 and the Eastern Plains Sports Network.
Okay, we will now go to the top of the 3rd inning. Mustangs up 2-0. They plate 2 in the bottom of the 2nd. Up will be the 8, 9, and 1 hitters for Greeley West. Nolan Hydock, first baseman, bats in from the right side. And Jesse Kampa on the hill for the Mustangs with 20 total pitches so far. And the delivery, and that ball is going to be fouled back to the screen. No balls and 1 strike to the number 8 hitter, Nolan Hydock.
Mustangs with a 2-0 lead here in the 3rd.
And the pitch, and that's going to be upstairs for ball. 1 ball and 1 strike. Gio Munoz on deck. Kampa looks in for the sign from Langford. Gets the sign and the delivery, and that pitch is going to be low for ball 2. 2 balls and 1 strike.
Hydock hitting just .233 out of the 8-hole. 8, 9, and 1 in this inning.
Kampa with the sign and the delivery, and that is in there for us. Oh,
nope, a little bit high, sorry. Yeah. But you know what? They could have called that a strike. This is a tall hitter. That would look like top of the zone, but we know this umpire has been very consistent, so that's not a surprise that he called that ball 3.
Kampa with the delivery, and that is going to be fouled back. Full count now on Hydock.
Jesse's averaged 10 pitches an inning. It's going to be tough to pull that off now because this is the 6th pitch of this at bat.
So he looks into Langford, gets his sign and the delivery, and that is inside for ball 4. So not the way they wanted to start off the 3rd inning here with a walk to the number 8 hitter. Now Gio Munoz, left fielder, batting 9th, is up at the plate.
And Munoz is batting .250.
As he bats in from the right side. So we'll see what happens here with the... Well, that's going to be fouled off to the right.
That's a definition of a check swing there, Brian.
Yeah, that was a check swing. Yeah, you could have straightened that out to Kampa. We might have had a double play.
Mustangs have 4 hits already. Greeley West with 1.
So Kampa checks his runner over at first. And the pitch. And that gets away. Runner goes to second. Langford with the throw, but in safely is going to be Hydock on the pass ball on Langford.
Yeah, he blocked it, but he's got to be a wall back there. These are playoff games at this point during the regular season. And just, you walk the 8-hitter, then you have the play like that, it hurts.
So 1 ball and 1 strike. Time is called at the plate by the batter, Gio Munoz. 2-0 Fort Morgan here in the top of the 3rd. And the pitch from Kampa upcoming, and delivery, and that is going to be outside for ball 2.
Well, something that Jesse's not done this year is fall behind hitters, but he's fallen behind the first 2 here. And top of the order is coming up.
So 2 balls, 1 strike, no outs. Top of the 3rd, and the pitch. And that is going to be inside for ball 3, 3 balls and 1 strike.
And remember, the on-deck hitter, Urquidy, leads Greeley West with a .343 average going in, even though he's 0 for 1.
Kampa checks his runner out at second. And the delivery, that ball is going to be popped up into short right field. Nice catch, he ranges under it. Puts the squeeze on the ball for the first out here.
I'll tell you what, Brian, he almost overran that. He's a freshman because Braden Fajardo is not here with the team today, but he did make a nice play. But that was close to overrunning it. However, that's a quality out for Fort Morgan because the runner does not advance the base. But now you've got trouble here with Urquidy.
So Kampa still with his runner out at second. Checks him out there, and the delivery. And that is going to be low for ball 1. Kampa falls behind once again.
Yeah, I threw him a breaking ball to start off this sequence with Urquidy.
1 ball, no strikes, 2-0 Fort Morgan. Top of the 3rd, and the pitch. And that is a big swing and a miss.
Doesn't have a blazing fastball, Brian, but what happens when you throw a good breaking ball, it makes the fastball look that much quicker.
Yeah, he's not overpowering, but he has got some nice stuff. So Kampa with the delivery, and that breaking ball is in there for strike 2, 1 ball and 2 strikes.
And not easy to time out that breaking ball either.
Kampa looks in. Checks his runner. And the pitch. And then a swing and a miss for strike 3. So 2 outs now. Nice job by Jesse Kampa to come back.
And for Kampa, that is strikeout number 2. But still not out of the inning.
So Tyson Tellez?
Either one.
Diaz.
Yeah.
Kampa checks his runner and the pitch. And that ball is another swing and a miss. At the plate, well, it might have been fouled. I couldn't tell if it was fouled or he just kept it.
I thought he missed it. But you know what? He's disguising the fastball and the breaking ball very well, which is why it's tough to time Jesse Kampa right now.
So Kampa ahead in the count. No balls and 1 strike. Going to step off. Runner steps back to second base. With Tyson Tellez at the plate. Kampa gets his signal, his sign from Langford, and the pitch, and that's going to be right back to Kampa. He runs it over, underhands it to the first baseman, Malachi Bills. So nothing hurt here in the top of the 3rd as the Mustangs lead it 2-0 here, going to the bottom of the 3rd on B106 and the Eastern Plains Sports Network. 2-0 Fort Morgan as we go to the bottom of the 3rd. Number 3 hitter Nick Beltran is first up for the Mustangs. He'll be followed by Jesse Kampa and Cale Langford. Beltran flied out to left field his first time up. So Rodney Villegas.
Yeah, Villegas. Yeah, like Villegas. A Y. Like a Y. It's not Hinojo, so you're fine.
Thank you.
But this is more like a Y instead of the 2 L's.
That first pitch misses for ball 1. And the pitch. And that is going to be in there for a strike.
Well, Beltran didn't like that. I don't blame him. That pitch has been called a ball, and that thing that thing was closer to hitting him than it was in the strike zone.
So the pitch, and that's going to be popped up to the shortstop. He ranges under it. And one-handed catch out there. It puts the squeeze on the ball And the first out here in the bottom of the third.
Yeah, he's had 2 bad swings. That's not a good swing there. He's chopping at it and got way underneath it. And I know that he didn't like that, but those are things you got to overcome as a hitter.
So Jesse Kampa, and that breaking ball misses. So Kampa gets ahead in the count, no balls, or 1 ball and no strikes. And that pitch is in there, catches the outside part of the plate for strike 1. 1 ball and 1 strike. Kampa 0 for 1 on a ground out his first time up. And that ball is going to be a hard hit to the shortstop. Up with it is Arago, and over to first for the second out is Arago. So now that will bring up Cale Langford. Langford with a single.
Well, the Mustangs have had 2-out rallies before, and they certainly did that in the first inning against Holy Family when the bases were loaded, and then all of a sudden they scored 4 runs, all with 2 down.
So Cale to start it off here. See if we can get the rally started here, but that first pitch is going to be in there for a strike. So Cale falls behind, no balls and 1 strike, and the pitch, that's going to be low and in the dirt. 1 ball and 1 strike to the right fielder, Cale Langford. And the pitch, and that is a swing and a miss. He blew that fastball by him. 1 ball, 2 strikes. On deck is Malachi Bills. And the pitch, and that is a ball, low and away. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Mustangs lead it 2-0 here, bottom of the third. And the pitch, and that's upstairs. Full count now to Cale Langford, so he should get something good to hit here. And the pitch, and that's going to be foul down the right field line.
These pitchers, by the way, are very similar with Kampa and Villegas. Lots of good off-speed stuff with a breaking ball. They spot the fastball.
Gets his sign now from Garcia. And the pitch, and that's going to be fouled to the backstop. Just caught the end of the bat. Fouled it to the backstop. So Villegas gets his sign from Garcia. And the pitch, and that is a swing and a miss. So the Mustangs go 1-2-3 here in the bottom of the third. We'll go to the top of the fourth with the Mustangs leading 2-0 on B106 and the Eastern Plains Sports Network. 2-0 Fort Morgan as we go to the top of 4. Auden Garcia will lead it off for Greeley West. 3, 4, and 5 hitters. Garcia with a single his first time up. He bats in from the right side.
That's the only base hit for Greeley West so far in the game. The Mustangs have 4, including the 2-run single there from Wheatley to give them the lead.
So Kampa I have with 37 total pitches, 23 strikes, 14 balls. As we play here in the top of the 4th inning. And the pitch, and that ball is going to come in low for ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes. Kampa gets his sign from Langford. And the pitch, and that is going to be outside. 2 balls and no strikes.
Engineering and consulting services for all of your projects. Western Engineering Consultants. Strong commitment to their clients' needs sets them apart. Western Engineering Consultants.
And Kampa with the pitch. And that is in there on the outside part of the plate for strike 1. 2 balls, 1 strike.
This is the heart of the order. 3, 4, and 5. Big sequence here for Kampa.
And the pitch. And that ball is going to be fouled, but it's going to be way out of play. Evens the count now. 2 balls, 2 strikes. To the number 3 hitter, Auden Garcia. Catcher for Greeley West. Kampa with the sign and the delivery, and that is going to be upstairs. So full count now to Garcia.
Remember, he got away with one in the 3rd inning, walking the opening hitter and then a wild pitch before retiring the side.
Time called at the plate by Garcia. They're doing that a number of times here, trying to get Kampa out of his rhythm. Steps back into the plate, does Garcia. Kampa gets his sign from Langford. And the pitch. And that's going to be low and away for ball 4. So walks the first batter up here to start off the 4th inning.
I mean, you're playing with fire here. That's 2 innings in a row, and you're not going to get away with that throughout the course of the game. And that's only the second walk by Jesse, but they come to lead off back-to-back innings with a 2-0 lead. This game is too close to be in those situations, as we'll have a courtesy runner. And I believe that's Tyler Gaunt again.
I think it's just number 6. I think it's Jaramillo.
I think you're right. Dimitri Jaramillo.
So opposing pitcher is up, and that ball is low. 4-1 to Rodney Villegas.
Struck out his first time up. How about a double play here? That would be nice.
Going to throw back over to first. The back in safely is Jaramillo. As long as they don't throw it down that first base line. Villegas back into the box. Kampa with the sign and the delivery, and that is going to be fouled down the third baseline. 1 ball, 1 strike with 1 on. And the Mustangs leading at 2-0 here in the top of the 4th. As Villegas gets back into the batter's box, a lead over there by Jaramillo. And quick throw over, but back in safely is Jaramillo.
Again, I'm going to say this. There's 2 types of pickoffs, to keep them close and to pick them off. And Jesse usually has just that one. That's why you got to make sure you don't throw it away.
Jesse with the pitch, and that's going to be fouled back.
Well, that was a hit and run there.
Yep. So 1 ball and 2 strikes.
And this is what happens in a low-scoring game. You do anything as a head coach to generate offense for your players, and sending a runner, especially with nobody out in an inning in the middle of the game, is one way to do it.
So Jaramillo with his lead over at first. Kampa checks him, going to throw over. But back in safely is Jaramillo.
And remember, this is a different double play combination without Braden here, with a freshman Langford and a senior Beltran, second and short respectively.
And the time called here at the plate by Rodney Villegas.
Yeah, they got to stop that. That's already too many times they're doing that. I wouldn't grant timeout every time if I'm the umpire.
So Kampa checks his runner over at first, and he takes off, and that ball is going to be hit over the head of Langford out at second. And on to third. The throw's coming into third, but in safely is going to be Jaramillo at third, and on safely also at first is Villegas.
That's exactly what happens with Jesse. You can't walk an opening hitter in the inning. You walk the opening hitter, he stuck out his bat. It looked like it could have been a double play had it been hit a little bit lower. But, you know, you burn yourself after a while, and now Greeley West is in business, trailing by 2, but about to dent the scoreboard. And now we'll have another courtesy runner. I wouldn't be surprised if he tries to take off. And that's going to be Alejandro Verdugo over at first base with 2 on and nobody out. And Arago, who lined out his first time, stepping in. Yeah, again, you can get away with that once, but you can't get away with it 2 or 3 times in a game when you walk the first hitter of an inning.
Yep.
That run normally scores about 70% of the time. And this could be that 70%. The Mustangs are at double play depth.
So Reuben Arago throw back over to first, but in safely is the courtesy runner, Verdugo. Jaramillo at third. Kampa checks his runner over at first. Going to throw back over. But once again, safely is Verdugo. 2-0 here, but threatening is Greeley West here in the top of the 4th with no outs, a runner at first and third. Kampa checks his runners and the pitch, and that's going to be upstairs. 1 ball and no strikes to start off here with this number 5 hitter, Reuben Arago.
Here you would like a bouncer to the mound or a pop-up at the infield. That would make things a little bit easier for Fort Morgan.
So Kampa with his sign and the delivery, and that's going to be low and away. So 2 balls and 1 strike.
0 strikes.
Excuse me.
Yeah, this is a setup for a big inning if Jesse doesn't come back in the count here.
Throw over to first once again, but back in safely is the runner. As the batter, Arago, gets his sign from the third base coach. Kampa gets his sign from Langford. Checks the runners and swing and a miss. So 2 balls and 1 strike. Nice pitch there by Jesse Kampa. As he looks in, gets his sign from Langford. Checks his runners and the pitch, and that is going to be fouled back. So even the count up here, 2 balls, 2 strikes is Kampa.
Well, the pitch that he threw when Villegas got a base hit was a really good pitcher's pitch, but he stuck his bat out. So that's the break that Greeley West caught in this inning, just like the Mustangs did when they scored their runs early on in this game.
So Kampa back over to first.
That's what I'm talking about. He throws it right into the ground. You got to knock that off.
It's going to get by him one of these times. It has in the past.
Many times.
So Kampa checks his runner at first once again. And the pitch. And that is a ball and a stolen base for Verdugo.
Threw him a breaking ball, and he did not wave at it. Close pitch, but it was below the knees.
It's now 2 in scoring position with no outs. I believe it should be 3 balls.
It is 3 and 2.
3 and 2. And the pitch. And that is going to be fouled down the third baseline. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. They don't have it right on the board yet. Didn't catch up with it after that steal by Verdugo. As Arago bats in from the left side. 3 balls, 2 strikes. And the pitch. Swing and a miss for out number 1.
Well, the fastball away there, Brian.
So nice job there by Jesse Kampa. That will now bring up Mateo Vasquez. He is 0 for 1 on a ground out. We'll take another one.
I'd like another strikeout, to be honest with you. Keep that runner from scoring at third. But I don't want to get too greedy either.
Yeah. We'll just hit it back to the pitcher. You can throw him out at home, trying to come in. And that pitch is going to be outside for ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. To the 6th place hitter, Mateo Vasquez. Kampa looks in, gets his sign. Checks his runners and the pitch, and that is going to be inside.
He's got a pitch to the catcher there. He was looking at the hitter squaring to bunt. You can't do that. He was staring strictly at that hitter, and you could tell that affected that pitch. And if I'm the hitter, I'd do the same thing to distract the pitcher. I'd do the same exact thing because Jesse was clearly thrown off.
2 balls, no strikes. Kampa with the pitch, and that is going to be looped out into going to be the first baseman. Nice job there by Malachi. Nice pitch there by Kampa to get the second out here of this 4th inning. Still with runners at 2nd and 3rd.
Well, he got totally fooled on a breaking ball down at the knees. And on a 2-0, well, that's a big out for Kampa if he can get out of it now with Elijah Torres, who grounded to Beltran in his first at bat.
So runners at 2nd and 3rd, and the pitch, and that ball is going to be hit out into center field, but coming down with it is going to be Briggs Wheatley. So nice job there for Kampa to come back and allow no runs. So the Mustangs lead it 2-0 still here as we go to the bottom of the 4th on Morgan County's B106 and the Eastern Plains Sports Network. So the Mustangs dodge a bullet, as John Beltran tells me here, and it was a major bullet with runners at 2nd and 3rd, no outs. Jesse Kampa pitches his way out of it. So we will go down to the bottom of the 4th inning. Malachi Bills, Frank Ortega, and Colin Farley. 6, 7, and 8 hitters. And time is called. Not for sure why, but...
Yeah, I don't know. But what a job by Malachi. A strikeout by Kampa. A strikeout, a pop-up to Bills, and then the liner hit to Briggs Wheatley.
And the pitch. And that's going to be inside for ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes.
Good-looking breaking ball there from Villegas.
He gets his sign and the pitch, and that's going to be low and away, ball 2. Inside out pitching here for Villegas. Gets his sign and the pitch, and that's going to be outside. So 3 balls and no strikes. So Malachi should be taking here. And the pitch. And that is going to be in there for a strike.
Okay, why was he doing that? That's not a good idea, Malachi. He was flipping that bat as if it was ball 4. Brian, that was center cut. It was down the middle. It was thigh high, nowhere close to a corner. Did he think he was going to get a call there?
Villegas with a pitch. And that is going to be ball 4.
A little bit low.
Yeah. Sounds like he's getting a little, umpire's getting a little chatter from the Greeley West side.
Yeah, that could have been called a strike at the knees. I could see where that could have been called a strike. And remember, there was a big call earlier in this game on a first and second on a bunt by Frankie, who's up there now. And the runner was called safe at third, and Langford, as the throw back to first, does nothing.
So Frankie Ortega, third baseman, he is 0 for 0 on a sac bunt, his first time up. And the pitch, and that is going to be in there for a strike. No balls, 1 strike to the number 7 hitter, but a man is on first. Malachi Bills reaches on a walk, gets his 2-step lead over there at first. And the pitch, and that's going to be fouled back.
That swing right there has been emblematic of Frankie's entire season. Check swing, a little bit unsure. He's got a lot of ability, but just cannot read these pitchers on a consistent basis, and that's what he's got to overcome.
So Villegas with a pitch, and that is inside. Way inside.
Well, Frankie wanted that ball to hit him, and it nearly did.
So 1 ball, 2 strikes. Runner at first, Malachi Bills, he reached on a walk. Malachi is going to be caught in a rundown. Not yet, he's in the pickle right now. Ball is going to go back to the second baseman. Malachi keeps him in a rundown, but eventually he's going to be tagged out. Yep, tagged out finally back at first base.
Is he going to be overruled?
Oh, they're going to give him first. They're going to say interference.
Yeah, I think there was interference here at first base. Oh, Greeley West is not going to be happy about this. But let me tell you, Fort Morgan's got to run the bases better. Oh, they're not happy about this. Here comes the Greeley West head coach, and Malachi is going to be awarded second on defensive obstruction.
Because there was another runner there, or another fielder there.
Yeah, defensive obstruction should just give him second base. I'm not even sure how you score that if that's a steal, but here's the deal, Brian. They are awful on the bases right now because Briggs got caught, and he was out. Malachi got caught. He got a big break there, and now Fort Morgan has to capitalize because they've been given a couple of gifts in this game.
Yeah, they need to
be smart. I mean, you got to be smart, and now you got a 1-2 count on Frank Ortega with nobody out and a chance to extend a 2-0 lead in the bottom of the fourth.
Villegas with a pitch, and that's going to be hit in the hole over the right side. So Malachi is going to be held up at third, as that would just hit into short right field. But nice job there.
And I have to tell you, that was a terrible jump by Malachi. He should have scored on that play. I don't know why he was holding up. That was not good base running again by the Mustangs. And, again, they're getting away with stuff here. That should be 3-0. That ball was rolled out to right field, and for some reason he was holding up. And then got a late jump as if this is, one-base softball, and he's a better base runner than that.
So Colin Farley, the DH up. He is 0 for 1, ground out, and the pitch, and that's going to be fouled off to the right and out of play. So no balls and 1 strike with Frank Ortega at first, Malachi Bills at third. Got to second on defensive interference, and then got to third on the single by Ortega. And the pitch, and that's going to be fouled off once again. So Farley behind in the count, no balls and 2 strikes.
Colin has had issues recently, struck out 3 times against Holy Family, hit into a 1-2-3 double play. And he's been a good hitter for a good portion of this season.
So Villegas with the pitch, and that ball is going to be nubbed out to the pitcher. And this time looks like Malachi, they're going to call him out. They call him out of baseline because I didn't think he touched him, but.
Well, more terrible base running by Fort Morgan. That'll go 1 to 2 to 5 on the fielder's choice, straight fielder's choice. And, I mean, this is not a playoff team right now for Fort Morgan. It's just not a playoff team doing stupid stuff like that. I'm sorry. I won't apologize for that. They have to be better than this. Here's Levi McCoy with 1 out and 2 on from the right side.
That pitch is in there for a strike. No balls and 1 strike.
I mean, how many mistakes can you make on the bases in 1 inning?
Yep.
Let alone 1 game.
And the pitch is going to miss outside.
Went with a breaking ball there, down and away. Let's see if Levi can deliver to right field. Frank's hit to right field was a thing of beauty.
And the pitch, and that's going to be popped up. Catcher has lost it.
Yeah, way out of play. It's over the press box.
So now 1 ball and 2 strikes.
And again, if Levi can just avoid the double play, you have Briggs Wheatley up next, and he had the 2-run single with 2 outs back in the 2nd inning.
So Ortega out at second, Farley at first. And the pitch, and that is a swing and a miss. Levi McCoy did not look good on that pitch.
Fooled completely by the breaking ball.
Out number 2 here in the bottom of the 4th. So we'll see if Briggs can come through. He is 2 for 2 with 2 singles.
This is the inning of blown opportunities. Brian,
Yeah.
bases loaded for or 2nd and 3rd, no out for Greeley West. They did not score.
Villegas with the pitch, and that is going to be fouled. Out of play, but Wheatley with the 2-run single to give the Mustangs the 2-0 lead.
And a balk was called apparently, or was it not?
What? I'm not sure of the second.
What was just called? There was a foul ball. Yeah, I mean, he wasn't even into, I don't know why balk would be called. He's not back on the mound.
I don't know if it was the home plate umpire that initiated that or if it was the fielding umpire, but yeah, I don't understand. Anyway, no balls and 1 strike to the leadoff batter, and that is going to be inside to Wheatley.
Well, this pitcher Villegas knows that one way to get Wheatley is to jam him. But if he opens up, he can hit a 3-run homer over the right field fence.
And the pitch, and that breaking ball is high. 2 balls and 1 strike.
Well, it was caught well by the catcher. Greeley West doesn't like it, but that did appear to be above the zone.
2 balls, 1 strike, 2 outs with 2 on here in the bottom of the 4th. And the pitch, and that ball is going to be hit over to the second baseman as he comes up with it. Throws it to first for the 3rd out here. So the Mustangs squander an opportunity here in the bottom of the 4th. As we go to the top of 5 now with the Mustangs still up 2-0 on B106 and the Eastern Plains Sports Network. So at the top of the 5th we go with the Mustangs leading at 2-0. Up for Greeley West will be Nolan Hydock, 8, 9, and 1 hitters. Mustangs leading at 2-0 here. Jesse Kampa on the hill, 58 total pitches so far. As he looks in to get his sign from Jackson Langford. And the pitch. And that ball is going to be hit out into short center field. And that is going to drop just behind Charlie Langford. Charlie did not come up with it, but it hit out there.
Well, he's got to keep going.
Yeah.
I mean, that could have been caught, but it's definitely a base hit. He cannot get tentative out there, not in a 2-0 game. I mean, again, he's not a starter. But I thought, hey, you keep going, you might be able to run through that ball, and I think he saw footsteps coming.
Yeah, he thought maybe Briggs was going to be there in time. Kampa with the pitch, and that is going to be inside. 4 ball, 1 ball and no strike for the runner on at first. Now Nolan Hydock. Gio Munoz, 0 for 1 on a flyout.
That's a 3rd hit for Greeley West.
Throw over.
3rd consecutive inning, Brian. They begin with a base runner. And again, that at some point, you're not going to get away with that as they have in the 3rd and 4th innings.
Kampa checks his runner at first, gets his sign from Langford. And the pitch. And that breaking ball is going to be up and away. 2 balls and no strikes. Getting behind again to the batter. As he has been consistently doing here in the last couple of innings. So Kampa checks his runner over at first, gets his signal. And the pitch. And that looked good, and it is in there for a strike. Nice breaking ball there by Jesse Kampa.
Top of the zone there. And again, the Greeley West fans, I don't think like that call, but it was a strike.
So 2 balls, 1 strike to the number 9 hitter. And the pitch, and that is going to be a swing and a miss.
And with a fastball away.
Evens the count now. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Runner at first. Kampa checks him over at first. Going to go over to first, but back safely is Hydock. I believe it's Hydock. I don't believe, yeah, they didn't bring any courtesy runner in for Hydock. As Munoz gets his sign from his third base coach. Kampa with the pitch, and that's going to be up and away for ball 3. 3 balls, 2 strikes.
Boy, you want that 2-2 pitch to be competitive. And competitive meaning it could have been a strike, but that was nowhere close.
Yeah.
And now he's got to come in with one with a runner at first and nobody out.
Kampa with the pitch. And that is going to be high for ball 4. So the first 2 reach here in the top of the 5th. As we're going to have a visit to the mound by Coach Josh Langford.
You know, this is a 2-0 Fort Morgan lead that almost feels like a tie game right now. It doesn't feel like the Mustangs have any security in this game. They hit the ball well early, have not done well as of late. They blew a huge opportunity, as did Greeley West in the 4th inning. So it's not just on one side. But, again, you're playing for a playoff spot. Greeley West is not going to the playoffs, so their playoffs are right now. They want to knock off Fort Morgan and make sure that the Mustangs do not make the playoffs. And one way to do it is obviously to win this game.
Yep, and
they had second and third, nobody out in the 4th inning, and Jesse pitched out of it. Now first and second, nobody out. But not only is it first and second, the 8 and 9 hitters have reached to begin the 5th inning, and that is certainly not a good indication of what's to come unless Jesse can find himself here with a leading hitter all season, Edgar Urquidi, who is 0 for 2. He did strike out, which only means that he's due, Brian.
Yeah. Maybe he'll be due next time and not this time.
I hope so, yeah. In the next game, whoever they're playing but Fort Morgan. And Malachi Bills is playing in at first in anticipation of a bunt, but I doubt it. I doubt they would bunt here. But let's see.
So Kampa gets his sign. And the pitch. And it's going to be a wild pitch to the fence. So now second and third.
That pitch was terrible. He threw it probably about 55 feet, and there's nothing that Jack could do there. Even getting his body in front of it, it skipped over his shoulder. If Jesse can pull it out of a hat now, then he'd be a genius. He'd be a magician.
Yeah. So runners now at second and third, no outs. Top of the lineup at the plate. And that ball is going to be fouled back. Evens the count, 1 ball and 1 strike.
Now, I'll say this. He's done his best pitching with men on base. There's no doubt about it. And he has to do it right now with a Mustang lead in significant jeopardy.
1 ball, 1 strike. And the pitch. And that is in there for strike 2. So we'll see if we can get a strikeout here of your Katie. Kampa gets his sign, checks his runners. And the pitch. And that's going to be fouled out of play to the right.
Pitch count not an issue yet. 69 for Kampa, the junior right-hander.
Back in at the plate is your Katie. Kampa with the pitch. And that slow breaking ball stayed way up. So 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Again, you want to throw a competitive pitch. When that pitch is right out of the hand and has no chance of being anywhere in the strike zone, the hitter doesn't have to think about it.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Kampa with the pitch. And that is low and away for ball 3. So now he's got to come in with 1.
I would call this right now almost a playoff pitch. This is a playoff pitch.
Kampa gets his sign from Langford. Runners at second and third. And the pitch. And that is going to be fouled off to the right and out of play. Mustangs lead is in jeopardy here as they lead at 2-0 here, top of the fifth, no outs, runners at second and third with the leadoff batter at the plate. But he is 0 for 2. It's Kampa with the pitch, and that is going to be outside for ball 4. So now bases are loaded for Tyson Tellez. He is 0 for 2 also on 2 ground outs.
Well, again, this started off with a little Texas leaguer over the second baseman's head, but then a walk and another walk. I mean, what do you expect? Again, if he can pitch out of this and allow just 1 run, that would be a victory. Just 1 run, not 0 runs. 0 runs you're going to have to get a bouncer back to the mound here.
So Tyson Tellez, Kampa with the pitch, and that is going to be hit out into center field to Wheatley. Wheatley comes down with it, and he's going to get it back in, and nobody advances. Nice job there by Wheatley for out number 1.
Well, the runner at third went back, and Nolan Highdog, but it was hit so hard he couldn't tag up. So that line drive benefits Fort Morgan with 1 down here in the top of the 5th inning. Now you have Auden Garcia, who's been on base twice. He's singled and walked, so he's going to be tough to double up here.
So 1 out now for the Mustangs. Kampa with the sign and the delivery. And that pitch is up for ball 1.
And he's operating out of the windup with the bases loaded.
So Kampa gets his sign and the delivery. And that is swing and a miss. Nice job there by Kampa. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Mustangs still lead at 2-0, but the bases are loaded. Kampa, time called once again at the plate.
No, that's a good tactic. I mean, I was complaining earlier they should stop, but that's the right way to do it if you're Auden Garcia.
Kampa checks his runners and the pitch, and that's going to be in the dirt. Gets by Langford, but not far enough to advance the runners or get a score in.
Yeah, Jackson's got to be tough there. A little bit sloppy there. He got loose with the glove. I mean, that didn't bounce 2 feet in front of him. That bounced almost to the glove. But now it's 2-1. This is a hitter's count with a 2-0 Fort Morgan lead in the 5th inning.
Kampa with the delivery, and that's going to be hit the third. Coming home for 1. There is the out, and down to first. In time, double play as Jesse Kampa pitches his way out of a bases loaded, no out inning. So we will now go to the bottom of the 5th with the Mustangs still in lead, 2-0 on B106 and the Eastern Plains Sports Network. Okay, back here, going to the bottom of the 5th.
Boy, he pulled another one out of the hat. You have a liner to center with nobody on the bases loaded and a 5-2-3 double play. Ortega to Langford to Malachi Bills. Now the Mustangs need some insurance, even though we're still 6 outs away from the Mustangs securing this victory, but 2-0. It's not close to secure right now.
No, so Jackson Langford will start it here for the Mustangs in the bottom of the 5th.
And if he gets on, I'm guessing Nick Beltran's going to bunt and set it up for your 4, 5, and 6 hitters.
So Langford is 0 for 1 with a walk and a flyout. And that breaking ball is in there for a strike. No balls, 1 strike to the number 2 hitter, Jackson Langford. And the pitch. And that is going to be low back to the fence. 4-1 evens the count now. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Mobile banking on the go makes banking easier for you when you're on the go. Equitable Savings and Loan.
And the pitch is going to be low for ball 2. 2 balls and 1 strike. With Rodney Villegas on the mound. And that is going to be hit out into right field. That will drop for a base hit. So nice opposite field hitting there by Jackson Langford. And that will now bring up Nick Beltran.
Yeah, I would fully expect a bunt, considering his first 2 at-bats were a pop-up to left and a pop-up to short. You set it up for Kampa, and then your subsequent hitters. So let's see if that's indeed what Coach Langford elects to do, to move the runner to second. And Beltran's got enough speed he can bunt for a base hit.
playing back. Third base is playing back, but nice bunt. It's going to be foul. My bad there. I thought it was more into the field of play, but that was fouled on the first bunt attempt.
He's really struggling at the plate because that's a very buntable pitch, and he could have put that down easy, and instead was several feet foul. They might try it again. I mean, he's the best bunter on the team. Coach Langford relaying the signals.
So no ball and 1 strike with Jackson Langford at first. After his single to right, back in safely is Langford. Over at first.
A 3-0 would be so huge if Fort Morgan can get to that point going into the 6th inning.
So Beltran back at the plate. With Villegas in the pitch. And that is going to be low for ball 1. Nice take there by Nick Beltran. As he gets his sign from head coach Josh Langford down at third base. Villegas with the pitch, and going is going to be Langford, but fouled back and just out of play as it lands here just in front of us.
And again, he's not seeing the ball well. Everything he's hit is in the air. And even that one way underneath that pitch. And now you can't bunt because you're down on the count 1-2. He's going to have to shorten up that swing and see if he can hit it on the ground and advance the runner.
So Villegas checks the runner over at first. Back safely is Langford. On deck is Jesse Kampa, followed by Cale Langford. So Villegas with the pitch, and that hit Beltran, I believe, on the arm guard.
Yep, got him on the elbow guard. Well, that's a way to get on base on a 1-2. Yep, and he didn't lean into it. It just got him.
Yep.
Well, that's a big break for Fort Morgan. First and second with nobody out. Yeah, he didn't lean into it at all. That's the beauty of having the elbow guard is that, and he's got to protect that right elbow because he throws for the right side. Now let's see if Jesse might bunt.
And Jesse attempts the bunt, but it is foul once again, and Josh Langford not happy.
Yeah, I mean, the bunts here, Nick's was not good, and he's a really good bunter, and Jesse's was popped foul down the third base side.
So no balls and 1 strike to the number 4 hitter, Jesse Kampa. And the pitch, and that was going to be fouled also down the third base line. So now they'll probably have to pull that bunt off and try to advance him with a hit. As Villegas takes his time to get back up on the mound. Now he gets his sign from Garcia. Checks his runners and the pitch, and that's going to be nubbed out between first and the pitcher and underhanded over to the first baseman. That will be out number 1.
That's a swinging bunt on a ball that fisted between the first baseman and the pitcher, and now Cale can deliver here and double up the Mustang lead with a base hit. Isn't it amazing, Brian? You swing away, you get the same job done, even though you intentionally tried to sacrifice yourself. The only difference there, that's not a sacrifice. It just works as one.
Right. So now runners at second and third with Cale Langford at the plate. He is 1 for 2, a single and a strikeout. So a big hit here would be nice, but that breaking ball misses upstairs and maybe a little outside. So 1 ball and no strikes. Runners at second and third. And the pitch. And that pitch catches the outside part of the plate for strike 1.
I'm surprised the infield is not playing in. You're down 2-0 in the 5th inning with 1 out. You want to cut that run off at the plate.
That ball is going to be hit foul down the right field line. That is Villegas on the mound. Jackson Langford at third. Nick Beltran out at second. After Kampa advanced them. And the pitch, and that is going to be fouled once again. So Cale behind in the count. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. 2-0 Mustangs here in the bottom of the 5th. Villegas with the pitch, and that's going to be popped down the right field line. Very playable for the first baseman, and does come down with the ball. So out number 2 here for the Mustangs.
Yeah, Nolan Hydock makes the play. Malachi Bills has been on base twice, though. Man, if he could come through, which he has so many times this year, again, that would make it 3 or 4 to nothing. He's got to swing at the right pitch here.
Villegas with the pitch, and that is a swing and a miss on that fastball.
I'm impressed with Villegas. I mean, he's really thrown well. So is Jesse, but Jesse's been in trouble.
Villegas with the pitch, and that's going to be outside. Evens the count now at 1 ball and 1 strike to the number 6 hitter, Malachi Bills.
Not only that, this guy doesn't throw wild pitches either. So Fort Morgan has to earn it.
And the pitch, and that is going to be fouled to the fence. So Villegas ahead in the count now. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs.
I mean, we might see 2 full innings in a row where both teams blow huge opportunities if Malachi doesn't come through. If he could hit something on the ground slowly like Kampa did and make it difficult to field it, that would help.
Time called. This time it'll be called by Bills.
And Malachi's got to watch out for that breaking ball because Villegas can certainly unleash that. That has fooled Mustang hitters today.
So 1 ball, 2 strikes as Villegas saunters back up onto the mound. Gets his sign and the pitch, and that breaking ball, and that must be high.
Oh, yeah.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 to nothing. Villegas with the pitch, and that ball is going to be popped up. Playable for the catcher, and does not come down with it. So Malachi Bills stays alive.
And I won't assign an error there. That's a tough play on the run, trying to get under it with the sun. But it was catchable there by Auden Garcia. The problem is he tried to make a basket catch.
Yeah, it looked like he ended up hitting it with his open hand, with his off hand, instead of his glove hand.
Right, and he was near the fence.
So Villegas with the pitch, and that's going to be chopped out to the second baseman. And over to first to Hydock, and that will end the Mustang threat here in the bottom of the 5th. So the Mustangs do not score. We will go to the top of the 6th with the Mustangs leading at 2 to nothing on Morgan County's B106 and the Eastern Plains Sports Network.
All right, let me keep it right here while we get ready here for the 6th inning. As Brian mentioned, a bouncer to second. A bouncer to second end of the inning with Fort Morgan leading by a 2 to nothing score against Greeley West. Jesse Kampa is 6 outs away. 6 outs away from securing the victory here for the Mustangs, which would be their 8th of the year. Now a 30-second break on the Eastern Plains Sports Network. Well, both teams blew huge chances in the 4th and 5th innings. And the Mustangs lead 2 to nothing going into the top of the 6th at home against Greeley West. Jesse Kampa has pulled rabbits out of the hat, but he doesn't want to do that too much longer. You've got the 4, 5, and 6 hitters. You get the next 6 hitters out, the number 1 hitter never comes up. Rodney Villegas, followed by Reuben Arago and Mateo Vasquez. Villegas is 1 for 2, a strikeout and a single, and has pitched very well. Kampa with a shutout. Nearly 80 pitches deep, 78. He has allowed 3 hits and a walk, 4, struck out 3. And the pitch swung on and fisted in the air. Third base side, Frank Ortega along the line is going to make the two-handed grab. There's 1 down, and Brian Nickel approves.
Very much so.
Yeah, let me turn you up there, Brian, my bad. 1 down.
Different than the last couple innings. Kampa gets his first man out instead of walking him or getting him on base.
There's Reuben Arago lined out and struck out. And the offering. Swag and a miss. Throw a fastball right by him. It's 0-1.
Yeah, it's kind of a sneaky fastball. His motion looks real easy out there, but that ball gets right on you.
Without a doubt. Laying down the sign is Langford. Kampa comes home, squaring to bunt, and fouls it up the first base side. It was down and in. It's 0-2. And the other thing is, Brian, once you've had back-to-back chances like that, like Greeley West has had, it's tough to get that a third time.
Yeah.
Same thing for Fort Morgan. They might not have a chance in the bottom of the 6th inning because they'll be sending up the bottom of the order. 0-2 with 1 out. And the offering. Swing and a miss and a fastball above the letters. And it's strikeout number 4 for Jesse Kampa, out number 2 of the top of the 6th inning. And once again, Brian Nickel approves.
Very much so.
Here's Mateo Vasquez. Let's just keep that flow going, Brian. I think we need anything at this point. He has grounded to third and popped to second. The offering. That's a fastball for a strike on the outer half at the knees. It's 0-1. No balls and 1 strike to Vasquez from the right side. All right-handed hitting lineup for Greeley West against the right-hander, Jesse Kampa. And the pitch. And that bounces away into the screen. And the count evens at 1-1. Game time temperature was 84 degrees. Now the temp. Brian, you want to guess?
We'll go 86.
88.
Okay.
Not bad. 1-1 pitch. That's a fastball. Strike 2. That was abdomen high. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Looking for a 1-2-3 inning. He hasn't had one, I think, in a while. Certainly not in the last 2 or 3. And the pitch. Breaking ball was very high. That was a waste pitch. 2-2. With 2 down and the bases empty in the 6th inning, the Mustangs holding a 2-0 lead in a pitcher's duel over Greeley West in Fort Morgan. And the offering. Swing and a miss with a fastball right by Vasquez. And it's a 1-2-3 inning for Jesse Kampa. Mustang Baseball brought to you in part by Stubbs Gas and Oil. Let us head to the bottom of the 6th inning. It's Fort Morgan 2, Greeley West nothing on B106 and the Eastern Plains Sports Network. Can the Mustangs pick up an insurance run in the bottom of the 6th inning? A 2-out, 2-run single by Briggs Wheatley in the 2nd is responsible for the only runs of the game. And it'll be the bottom of the order for Fort Morgan. Frank Ortega, Colin Farley, and Levi Mccoy. Villegas delivers. Swung on and lifted on the left side of the infield. That's going to be caught by the third baseman, Tyson Tellez, and Ortega's now 1 for 2 after a sac bunt and single. 1 out. That'll bring up Colin Farley. It's been a struggle for Colin today as well. A couple of fielder's choices. Actually, one was a 1-2-3 double play. And the pitch. Swing and a miss and a fastball up and in. No balls and 1 strike. The opportunities were there for both teams in the 4th and 5th innings. And the offering way outside. The count levels at 1-1. First pitch of Game 2 against Northridge will be at 4 o'clock Mountain Time. So still 2.5 hours away. Northridge is playing a game in Greeley right now. And the pitch. Swung on and fisted on the ground slowly, right side. Nobody covering first base. Now the pitcher comes over to cover and out. Boy, that play was made from high dock to Villegas. 3-1, 2 down.
Yeah, Farley just about had that beat out.
A late cover over there, but he got over there, and there's 2 down for Levi Mccoy, who's walked and struck out. And they've been fooled by the off-speed pitch. The Mustangs have 6 hits in the game. Greeley West with only 3. Greeley West has stranded 6. Fort Morgan has left 7. And the offering. And that ball hit him. Well, that's a big, big hit batter. You know what Briggs is thinking. Hit one into the gap or even deeper.
Yep.
And get a comfortable 3 or 4-0 lead, which would be comfortable. I think it got him on the elbow.
Yeah.
Levi's hurting right now. Came in with a pitch. Yeah, that left arm looks like it's dangling a bit. And Briggs Wheatley, I mean, I've seen him hit home runs before. Just not during the varsity season. But here's a big, big chance for him. Wheatley had a base hit his first time up. Actually, his second, well, no, he's had 2 hits. The pitch and the breaking ball is right there for a strike. Had a base hit, was caught stealing, then had the 2-run single. So had a good day for him. He's 2 for 3. 0-1 to Wheatley. Short lead at first, throw back to first, and McCoy is going to be right on top of that base. The bat must remain in Wheatley's hands. No balls and 1 strike. Villegas, the right-hander, comes home. Swung on and laced it to right field for a base hit. McCoy was running. He's going to head to third base, and the throw is going to be made all the way through. Wheatley to second, and that throw is high, but it's off the second baseman's glove, and Wheatley's in there. And that's his 3rd hit of the game. Here we go again. Here we go again for Jackson Langford, who had a base hit his last time up. Aggressive base running there from Briggs Wheatley. A walk, a pop out, and a single. Just swing at the right pitch. The pop out, he swung at a pitch that was inside. 2 on, 2 out for Langford. Yeah, there is 2 down.
Yep.
2 down. The infield is playing back. Villegas confirming the number of outs. The pitch. And that one hit him. That one got him on the back, and Nick Beltran, who got hit by a pitch his last time up, is now going to hit. So the bases are loaded. Boy, Nick's got to stay away from that pitch up in the zone. That's the pitch he's popped up twice on. And if he doesn't deliver, Fort Morgan will have stranded 10 in this game. So we have 2 hit batsmen sandwiched in between as a base hit. And a huge situation for the senior shortstop. Base is loaded. 2 outs, 2-0 Fort Morgan. Bottom of the 6th inning over Greeley West in the first of 2. They play Northridge at 4 Mountain Time. Wine in the pitch. That is a strike at the knees with a changeup. No balls and 1 strike. And that pitch was down in the zone. And the offering, swing and a miss, not even close, pulled his front side on a fastball away. No balls and 2 strikes. Down in the count again is Beltran. He got hit by a pitch in a 1-2. No balls and 2 strikes. And the offering. And he fouls it off the third base side. That pitch was way outside, but he is not taking any chances. Not taking any chances. No balls and 2 strikes. Can he come up with something special here out of the windup? And the offering. And that ball, I think he leaned into it. He did lean into it. And they're going to call him out. He leaned into it, and that's a good call by the umpire. But are they going to say it? I don't think that's an out. I think it's just a 0-2 pitch. But he did lean into it, so it'll remain. It's kind of goes as a foul ball. It got him on the elbow guard, but there's no doubt he leaned into that. And that's not good for Nick because you don't want to get on base like that. He's going to have to earn his way on base here. Here's the 0-2. Swung on and fouled. Yeah, that's an excellent call by the umpire. He most certainly leaned into that one. It remains at 0-2. Wind and pitch. Swung on and lifted into right field. That's going to be a routine play, and the catch is made, and the Mustangs have stranded 3 more as we head to the top of the 7th inning. With the score, it's Fort Morgan 2, Greeley West nothing. Mustang Baseball brought to you in part by High Plains Bank on B106 and the Eastern Plains Sports Network. The Mustangs loaded the bases with 2 down, but they could not score again. 2-0. Jesse Kampa looking for the complete game, 87 pitches deep. He will face the bottom of the order. Elijah Torres, Nolan Hydock, and Gio Munoz. Jesse has been in command, but he's also been in trouble in this game, as he has allowed 3 hits, walked 4, and struck out 5. 3 wild pitches. That's why you don't want to get anybody on base. Hydock has grounded to short and lined to center. You can prevent the number 1 hitter from getting up there if you get out of this inning, and the changeup is down and in. 1 ball and no strikes. And you don't deliver. All the pressure's on the pitching and defense now. And the offering. Swung on. That is popped up. Shortstop Beltran is out. Still going out into the grass. Makes the one-handed grab. And there's 1 out.
Nice way to start off the
Good
7th
pitch.
inning.
Yep. Very much so.
Yes.
So Torres is out, number 1. And here is Hydock. Walked in single, so he's been on base twice. The tying run is on deck. If somebody gets on here for Greeley West to pitch, that's a fastball for a strike on the outer half thigh high. It's 0-1. Jesse still's got close to about 20 pitches in that range to play with. But he doesn't want to get anywhere close. Just get out of this, and that's it. The over, but low. Ball 1, strike 1. 2-0 Fort Morgan. Top of the 7th inning with 1 out and the bases empty. And the pitch. Down and away. 2-1. 2 balls and 1 strike to Nolan Hydock. Fort Morgan is 2 outs away from their 8th win of the year. And the pitch. And that is a strike on the inside corner with a fastball.
Nice location on that fastball.
2-2 to the number 8 hitter. Wine and pitch. Swung on. That is popped up right side. Second baseman Langford out to his left. Makes the two-handed grab into the grass. 2 outs. Well, what a gem Jesse Kampa is when he pitches well. I mean, he just gives his fielders a chance. But we're not done yet. Far from over. That 3rd out is always the toughest. Gio Munoz has popped out and walked. And now Jesse's retired 6 in a row. Actually, more than that. The pitch. Pitch is up and in. Remember what happened with McCoy, the 9-hitter, when he reached, and all of a sudden it set up a bases-loaded situation. So let's not pretend that this thing is over. And the offering. And that is down and away. He has retired 7 in a row, but it's 2-0. Now you got to come in with 1. 2 balls and no strikes. And the offering. That's right there for a strike on the inner half at the knees. Ball 2, strike 1. Jesse Kampa is composed as can be, the junior right-hander. Turns and fires. Swung on line, base hit left field. On a 2-1 pitch, the game stays alive here for Greeley West as Gio Munoz has Greeley West's 4th base knock. That pitch was up in the zone. The tying run at the plate is the leading hitter this season, Edgar Urquidy. He popped to the mound, struck out swinging, and walked. He is 0 for 2. You don't worry about the runner now. Don't throw that thing down the right field line. Now he's going to throw to first, and Jesse likes to work on that move. It's a very good move. Very good move. Can they get the 3rd out here and avoid any trouble? Stretch by Kampa. The pitch. Swinging a foul off the catcher's glove. It's 0-1. So he's gotten ahead. What do you got pitch-wise, Brian? I might have been off.
I have 99.
That's what I got, 99 pitches. Remember, 110 is the limit with 3 days rest, so he's got to get out of this pretty quickly. Throw back to first. Again, back in diving is Munoz. Mustangs know that outside of Wheatley, they've got to start hitting in game 2. Wheatley had 3 hits. The stretch. The offering. Swung on and foul to the backstop. No balls and 2 strikes. Here to Edgar Urquidy. And I don't know why Jesse's messing around with a guy at first. Yeah. I mean, there's no reason to do that. Don't throw your concentration off. You get the hitter, the runner doesn't matter. That was pitch number 100. And the 0-2. And did he wave at it? Nope, he did not in the dirt on the breaking ball. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Edgar Urquidy. The tying run is at the plate. 2-0 Fort Morgan in the 7th. The stretch and the offering. Fastball is high. 2-2. With every pitch, it gets a little bit more tense, considering you've got a base runner, and Greeley West has had significant opportunities. And the 2-2 pitch. Swung on and fouled straight back. He's slowly running out of pitches. Fort Morgan has stranded 10. Greeley West has left 6 on base. 2-0 has held up since the 2nd inning. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Is this the pitch to end the game? Here it is. Swung on, grounded to short. Beltran is going to go right under his glove into left field. That's an error on the shortstop, and the game continues. He was ranging to his right. It would have been a tough play at first, but that's an error on Beltran, and the game continues. And here is Tyson Tellez, who's grounded out twice and lined out. 3rd error of the season for Beltran. He didn't get that glove down. And Jesse's at 104 pitches. He got what he wanted, a grounder. And to one of your better infielders did not make the play. Here's the stretch. And the pitch. That's upstairs. 1 ball and no strikes. That could have ended the game, and Nick Beltran making a crucial error at short. Pitch number 105. Boy, Greeley West can smell this now, that they've got a shot. And the offering. Curveball is grounded to third. Frank Ortega steps on the bag for the fielder's choice, and the game is over. Wow. And Jesse Kampa has done it again. The Mustangs win the game by a score of 2-0. We'll take a short break and come back with a recap. Fort Morgan 2, Greeley West 0 on B106 and the Eastern Plains Sports Network. The Mustangs improved to 8-5 and dropped Greeley West to 5-9, defeating Greeley West and Fort Morgan 2-0. The Mustang post-game show is brought to you by Morgan Community College. MCC is here to help and make your dreams become a reality for both traditional and non-traditional students. Check them out at morgancc.edu. John Beltran back with Brian Nickel for the Mustangs. 2 runs, 7 hits, 1 error there with 2 outs on Nick Beltran, the only error of the game. They stranded 10. No runs on 4 hits for Greeley West. No errors, and they left 8 on base, that is. The winning pitcher was Jesse Kampa. He moves to 4-0, and the loss in the game went to the right-hander Rodney Villegas. Time of the game, 1 hour and 45 minutes. And it was a 2-run, 2-out single by Briggs Wheatley in the bottom of the second inning that got the job done. And, Brian, that was it. There were opportunities galore for both Greeley West and Fort Morgan, and both pitchers worked out of it.
Yeah, it was. You said it's a pitcher. It was a pitcher's duel, that's for sure. You know, both teams are, 4th, 5th, 6th innings. Even the 7th inning there at the end, runners in scoring position, but the pitchers came through and kept the runners off of the home plate.
Final line here for Jesse Kampa, 106 pitches as he struck out 5, walked 4, allowed 4 hits, 3 wild pitches, but again, he's 4-0. And now Fort Morgan's got to win their next 3 games for a pretty much solidifying a playoff spot. If they would have lost this one, that would have been a huge setback, but they were able to get the job done and move to 8-5 with a 2-0 victory over Greeley West. All right, coming up in just over 2 hours, 4 o'clock Mountain Time, it'll be the Mustangs taking on the Northridge Grizzlies, and Fort Morgan will be looking to avenge an earlier season loss, at opening game of the season when they fell 12-11 in 8 innings in Greeley. For Brian Nickel, I'm John Beltran. The final score of Game 1 of this doubleheader from Legion Field: Fort Morgan 2, Greeley West 0 on B106 and the Eastern Plains Sports Network.